Hello, everyone. Good Wednesday morning out there. If you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel or liked this video, definitely do so here as well after the video is over. Definitely appreciate that, as we have kind of a weather breakdown for you guys here this morning for the next 2 weeks. So definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and like button here after the video is over, and kind of stick with me here because we definitely have lots to talk about concerning severe weather potential, potentially even significant severe weather, as well as a historic major heat wave as we move through the rest of July and into early August. Looking here at the Storm Prediction Center storm reports here today, we did kind of have a little bit of a lull in the activity across most of the country, in exception here to the southeast and parts of the New England region and the desert southwest here. A couple wind reports in there. Not really any hail reports or tornado reports today, so that is some good news. We kind of had a 39 severe weather reports in total across the entire United States here on your Tuesday. But looking ahead here to the today into this afternoon and this evening, we got that ridge that is just going to continue to dominate across the southwestern United States. We got that shortwave trough here over portions of the central and northern Great Lakes and into southeastern Canada. That's going to be the driving force behind the severe weather, with a strong cold front across portions of the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley as we head through the afternoon today. But looking here ahead of that cold front, yeah, we got temperatures up all the way up into the 90s from Detroit all the way down here into central portions of Kentucky. 98 degrees here in the Music City of Nashville, 100 degrees down toward the Cape Girardeau area here into Missouri, 107 here in Dallas-Fort Worth, and 110 down in the Wichita Falls region here as well as a lot of that heat expanding across portions there of the western United States as well, from portions there of southwestern Canada all the way back down here into portions there of Death Valley and Phoenix, approaching 115 in some of those areas as we head into the afternoon. But like I said, we got that severe weather potential increasing across the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley as we move through the afternoon today. We got a very strong, very potent cold front pushing across portions of the central Ohio Valley and southern Great Lakes as we head through the day today. And ahead of that cold front, we got a lot of daytime heating, and that's where that Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk of severe weather across portions of the Detroit area, getting down into eastern Indiana, east of the Indianapolis area, across the entire state of Ohio, as well as northern Kentucky as we head into this afternoon. Even that marginal risk that kind of extends down towards Nashville, Knoxville, and then getting farther to the west here towards Little Rock, and even towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and potentially a strong thunderstorm here later on today as well, closer to the Red River down there with that cold front. And then you can kind of see here, looking at the individual hazards with some of the storms out there, you can see that 5 to 15% chance of some damaging winds across this area, the 5% with that marginal risk, and the 15% chance here with that slight risk of severe weather in that yellow shaded area. And then kind of a lower signal here for some hail, kind of a lower probability of hail across the Detroit area, Indiana, much of Ohio, and northern Kentucky as we head into the afternoon and evening hours here today. We do also have, though, however, a 2% tornado risk across portions of eastern lower Michigan, so from Detroit all the way down through Cincinnati, Toledo, Columbus, Ohio, getting down there towards the Lexington area here, and eastern portions there of Indiana, east of the Indianapolis area as we head to later today as well. So let's kind of time this out using the HRRR model here, kind of a short-range weather model we like to look at here as we kind of get closer in time. This is as we head into mid to late this afternoon, about 2 to 3, 4 o'clock time frames. Very quiet on the radar, in exception to a couple of showers and storms down in the Carolinas, and maybe a couple of storms isolated up to west of the Detroit area. But as we kind of move toward the dinner time frame, we'll start to see kind of a broken line of some showers and storms, maybe a few supercells developing along this broken line from portions there of northern Ohio, maybe portions there of eastern lower Michigan, all the way down here through southeastern and southern Indiana, northern Kentucky. And this will start to fill into kind of more of a extensive line here from portions of western New York State all the way down through the Pittsburgh area, and getting down towards portions there just south of the Toledo area, south of Cincinnati, and then getting down towards portions there of Nashville as we head into the the late evening hours here, and then after that midnight time frame as well. It's kind of some lingering showers and storms across the eastern Tennessee Valley as we head into that time frame. Again, concerning the rainfall amounts out there, we're not talking about a huge flash flooding threat here. These storms will be moving quickly enough that we won't have to worry about any training of thunderstorms moving over the same areas or anything like that. But these could be dropping some torrential rainfall as they do move through. So some areas could, see a half inch to maybe upwards of an inch of rainfall here at times in some of the heaviest cores of thunderstorms that kind of move through this area as we head into later today. Then it doesn't stop there. As we move into your Thursday here, we got that ridge continuing to, stay anchored across the southwestern United States. The trough does start to kind of, weaken a little bit, but still there across the New England region and getting into portions of, Ontario and Quebec, Canada. And it still does have an influence on the New England region here as we head into Thursday afternoon. We still got all that heat out there with that, ridge continuing to stay anchored across the southwest. Again, the heat will still be expanding across the United States here with highs in the 90s, if not 100s, across most areas here in the central and southern plains, all the way up here into portions of the northern plains as well as the upper Midwest. Some cooler areas, I guess you could call it, here around, the Pacific Northwest from, Portland up through Seattle there with some 70s and 80s. Again, portions there, the Arrowhead of Minnesota, maybe the UP of Michigan, some lower 80s for highs on your Thursday. But again, a lot of the country is going to be baking in that heat as we head into that Thursday time frame. Again, we still got that very potent, very strong cold front moving through portions of the eastern New England region, getting into, southeastern Quebec as we move into the afternoon, kind of peak heating time frame on your Thursday. And again, we got a couple areas we're watching. We got a cold front extending across the deep south here with an elongated area of slight risk of severe weather, that 2 of 5 on the scale of 0 to 5. And yeah, we do have a slight risk here from the Carolinas all the way back through the Atlanta metro, getting back towards Birmingham, also here the Tuscaloosa area, and even Jackson, Mississippi, under that slight risk as we head into that Thursday time frame. And then also here another kind of larger slight risk area across the Caribou, Maine area, getting down through Vermont, New Hampshire, the Boston area here in Massachusetts, the Hartford, Connecticut area, as well as eastern New York State and parts of Rhode Island as we head into Thursday afternoon as well. Concerning those hazards with the storms out there, again, those 5 to 15% area here, marginal to slight risk here. For some damaging winds up to around 70 miles per hour with some of the strongest storms. And the hail risk is going to be more confined up into portions of New England there from New York State eastward to Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and portions of around the Boston area here as well, with a little bit more shear in that environment here, more supportive of that large hail potential. But we also do have, with that shear in place, with the wind shear in place, we definitely have the potential for some isolated tornadoes also here for portions of Maine, getting down through Vermont, New Hampshire, the Boston area, as well as Hartford, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and then even portions of northern New Jersey and eastern New York. We definitely have to watch this as well with that 2% area here of tornado potential on your Thursday afternoon and evening. So timing this out across portions of New England, we got kind of a broken line of some showers and storms, maybe some supercell thunderstorms embedded in this as we move toward the mid-afternoon hour, so around 2 or 3 o'clock across eastern New York State, getting into western portions there of Vermont, New Hampshire. And then as we kind of move towards the evening time frame, this kind of broken line will, kind of stay a little disorganized, but we will still have the potential for some, discrete supercells here mixed in, into these areas, with the potential for some isolated tornadoes as well as that large hail potential, as well as I think the main risk will be damaging winds here, but we definitely have to watch out again for that large hail and isolated tornado potential with these storms. And then as this cold front kind of moves through the Maine here towards the overnight hours here in the early Friday morning, we'll start to kick those storms to the east, and here we'll kind of quiet down across New England as we head into the after midnight time frame here into your Friday morning. Again, this is your rainfall amounts across New England. Here you can expect some heavier rainfall, some torrential rain, especially across eastern New York State, getting into portions of western Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. Some of these areas could be approaching, an inch to 2 inches here in some of these spots, especially with that kind of organized line at first becoming a little bit more broken of a line as it pushes towards Maine. But definitely some heavier rainfall in some of these areas, so that is, some minor flooding is possible. But again, I'm not expecting a big, flash flooding risk across this area here at this time. And then again, I did mention that slight risk across portions of the Carolinas here through the Atlanta metro here, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, getting over toward Jackson, Mississippi, with that marginal risk kind of extending farther to the west here towards Shreveport, Texarkana here, as well as northeastern Texas, and then on up here through portions just south of Washington, D.C., getting up here to the outer banks of Virginia and North Carolina here as we head into Thursday afternoon as well. So let's kind of time that out using kind of the NAMNS model. We kind of look at these shorter range models to kind of see what the radar could look like. Again, don't take these models verbatim, but definitely kind of take these as a guide to see, what the radar could look like as we move to, the afternoon and evening hours here on your Thursday. So again, mid-afternoon Thursday here, about 2, 3 o'clock. The radar for the most part does look quiet. Maybe some showers over into portions of northeast Texas here where they definitely need the rainfall, so that would be beneficial if we could get some rainfall in those areas. Again, maybe a couple showers north of the Atlanta metro, but as we kind of move towards that mid-afternoon and toward the dinner time frame around 6, 7 o'clock, we'll really start to see some, multiple areas of thunderstorms develop here. Maybe a complex of storms developing right on the Arkansas and Mississippi line here, state lines. Another kind of complex of storms developing near the Atlanta metro here, kind of extending farther to the west across Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, and then kind of another complex of storms to the east of there across the Carolinas. So multiple different complexes of storms look to develop during this time frame around 6, 7 o'clock on your Thursday. And then one or two of these complexes could kind of maintain its intensity here all the way down through portions of southern Alabama, southeastern Mississippi as we kind of get into the evening hours and overnight hours here on your Thursday to early Friday morning. And I think it's mainly due to the fact that we will have probably some outflow boundaries here, kind of maintaining the strength of the leading edge of these storms, so kind of more of a damaging wind risk than anything else here. I'm not looking at a huge, large hail or tornado risk. I think the main mode of severe weather across this area will actually be damaging straight line winds that could be up to 70 miles per hour, so that could do some damage. So definitely want to heed the warnings if you got any of the warnings out there moving into that time frame. Again, a lot of moisture in this environment here, so we have a lot of torrential rainfall potential from the Carolinas all the way back through the Atlanta metro there in northern and central Georgia, getting through much here of Alabama, Mississippi, and then maybe even extending over towards southeastern Arkansas there. Some of these storms could be dropping 1 to 3 inches worth of rain. And again, some of these areas do need the rainfall, so that is some good news, although we do not need all the rainfall at once. So that will be something we'll watch as well. As we move toward the end of the week here, towards Friday, again, we'll start to flatten out this ridge. And what I mean is that the ridge will start to kind of, move a little bit farther east, kind of spreading the heat a little farther east towards portions here of the Mid-South, the Southeast, and the Tennessee Valley. Whereas the north here, of the northern U.S. here from the Rockies all the way over towards the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes region here, and perhaps even New England, kind of more of that quasi-zonal or zonal flow across the area here as we get towards Friday. And again, with that in place, we got a lot of heat building here. Omaha up near 100, the North Platte area getting in towards Lincoln, Nebraska, 100 as well, 101 down towards Wichita Falls, the Dallas-Fort Worth area here, 96 near Lubbock here, 112 down towards the Phoenix area here, maybe approaching 120 here in Death Valley, and then all the way up here in the Pacific Northwest, we got some cooler temperatures up there with 70s and some 60s mixed in there here across portions of the Seattle region. But look at all the heat from the I-95 corridor from Boston all the way down through New York. Low to mid 90s can be expected for your Friday afternoon time frame. But then looking kind of to the north here, where we're kind of flattening out the ridge, we got some mid-level disturbances, kind of pieces of energy kind of revolving around the northern periphery of all this heat around here, the southern United States. We got a marginal risk here in a couple areas, one across southern New York here, getting into northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey. Not looking like too big of a deal there, maybe some isolated stronger storms. The area that I would watch for maybe an upgrade to a slight risk here, if there were to be one, will be across portions here of Wisconsin, down through northern Iowa here, maybe far northern Illinois, southeastern Minnesota, and getting into central and eastern Nebraska here. Maybe within this area here of northern Iowa and central Wisconsin, we might have an upgrade here to a slight risk in the coming days. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does decide to do, but I do think the potential is there, as I'll show you here. The NAM model is showing here mid, 2 or 3 o'clock here on your Friday afternoon, a couple showers out there. But really starting to develop here kind of a complex of storms with the NAM model across southern and central Wisconsin, getting back through central Iowa there with kind of a line of storms, maybe some damaging winds, some large hail potential there. Not really too worried about a tornado risk at this time, but you can't, rule out maybe kind of a spin-up tornado with all the wind shear and the instability out there. And then this complex of storms will kind of move across Lake Michigan into lower Michigan, I think, here as we move into the overnight hours into your early Saturday morning. So we'll see if there is an upgrade to a slight risk. I think there's a possibility for that, especially, like I said, from central Iowa up through central and northern Wisconsin. We'll definitely have to kind of watch this as here we get a little bit closer here to see what the Storm Prediction Center does do. But looking kind of at the rainfall amounts here, not really a lot of rainfall, but definitely some beneficial rains in some of these areas that are a little bit more drought-stricken here across Wisconsin into Iowa. I know some places in western Iowa do need the rainfall. Right now, averaging around, a quarter inch to up to 3/4 of an inch across this area. Again, so not a huge, soaking rainfall or anything like that, but just enough to kind of wet the ground as we move toward your Saturday morning. Same thing here for your Saturday. We got that ridge kind of flattening out across the southern U.S. here to the north. We got that zonal flow, and that's when we have those pieces of energy moving around the northern periphery of all that heat. For your Saturday, though, look at the high temperatures here. Widespread 100s from southern Iowa and much of Nebraska southward across here, the Ozarks of Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. Just a lot of areas being engulfed in that heat, and that just continues on your Sunday time frame, July 24th. You can see a lot of those 100s here from the Missouri Ozarks towards St. Louis, getting all the way down towards Little Rock, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, all the way down towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Wichita Falls, Shreveport, all these areas being impacted here by some lower 100s as we head into Sunday afternoon. But looking to the north here, we got a kind of a stronger mid-level jet here coming in from the west here with that zonal flow over top of this ridge. And you can see some of these values approaching 50, 60 knots up into portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin, kind of driving some of these, the wind shear values across this area, kind of organizing some storms. And also of note as well, we'll have a very strong and very potent low-level jet kind of developing on your Saturday evening across portions here of the Midwest, the Western Great Lakes, and kind of extending down toward the Central Plains. And on the nose of this low-level jet, kind of the top end of this low-level jet, what we call the nose of the low-level jet, we'll be starting to see some storms firing up across portions of Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, and south-central Wisconsin as we head into the evening hours on Saturday, according to the European model. And these will kind of propagate more across northern Illinois, northeastern Iowa, and across portions here into lower Michigan as we head into the overnight hours. I think carrying probably a damaging wind risk mainly with these storms here, although some large hail initially and maybe a couple tornadoes cannot be ruled out again across portions of Wisconsin, northern Iowa, and southeastern Minnesota. And then this will continue to kind of move down toward the Chicagoland area here, portions of Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, Michigan, getting down into far northern Indiana into your early Sunday morning. Looking at the GFS model, fairly similar, maybe a little farther south with the development here towards southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and eastern Iowa here in portions of lower Michigan. And this will kind of propagate its way slowly across these areas once again, northern Illinois, northern Indiana, and portions of the southern Great Lakes as we head toward your Sunday morning. But then thereafter, as we kind of move towards next week here, towards the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame here and beyond, towards the very end of July, the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day temperature outlook does favor that heat continuing here to remain kind of sustained across Texas, Oklahoma, and eastward towards the Carolinas, the Tennessee Valley, as well as kind of some likely above normal temperatures expected across portions of the Pacific Northwest here will be kind of heating up during this time frame from July 25th through the July 29th time frame as well. Also seeing here underneath that ridge, again, below normal precipitation favored from north central Texas here into southern Oklahoma, near normal precipitation across the Gulf Coast towards the Carolinas here, and then kind of drier than normal across the Pacific Northwest. But in between the ridges here, starting to build across the country, we do have kind of that monsoonal weather continuing across the four corners here from Arizona into Utah, New Mexico into Colorado, maybe, hopefully, into portions there of southern California and southern Nevada, where they definitely desperately need some of that beneficial rain. So hopefully they can get some of that rain in those areas. And then kind of moving across here through the middle Missouri Valley here, the southern Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley towards New England during this July 25th through the 29th time frame, maybe some above normal precipitation here as well. But did I mention that heat? Yeah, that heat will be continuing across much of the country here, especially the south central plains as we get into next week. This is July 25th, next Monday, and you can see widespread 105s to 110s across portions of southern Kansas, much of Arkansas here, extending into western Tennessee, Louisiana, and much of Texas and Oklahoma, especially here, kind of the epicenter of the heat on your Monday. And then next Tuesday, it doesn't really move too much, kind of stays in the same areas here, 105s to near 110 across these areas, again, here on your Tuesday, July 26th as well. And that just kind of continues on Wednesday, although the northern end of this could start to kind of break down a little bit with some, continuous storm tracks across these areas, across the Midwest here and, the north central plains and through the Ohio Valley as we get towards the middle of next week, but we'll continue to refine this as we get closer. But again, across the northern periphery of all this heat, we got to watch for some severe weather, maybe some flash flooding again. This is surface-based CAPE, or convective available potential energy. As we get into that Monday afternoon, the 25th time frame, you can see all that instability building across the Dakotas, Iowa, portions of Nebraska, getting down as far south here as the northern portions of Kansas, northern portions of Missouri. And we definitely seen these values here about a week out already approaching 4,000 to 5,000 joules per kilogram. So definitely here again, this is the climate forecasting systems model, so it's not meant to really show you the exact kind of mesoscale details with how much CAPE or instability will be in the environment, just kind of giving you a general trend that's saying, hey, we might have some severe weather with a lot of energy in the atmosphere here getting towards next week. So definitely have to watch that. Again, trends are your friend, and we definitely have to watch that as we get into next week. And again, this really starts to expand towards portions of the Chicagoland area, getting back into southern Iowa, central Illinois as we head towards the middle of next week, that Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. So I think the severe weather will really start to continue across these areas as we even move into the following week week toward the end of July as well. And kind of looking at this here with the European forecast model, again, towards that, Tuesday evening time frame, you can see kind of a convective system, or MCS, starting to develop across portions of Iowa, getting back here towards Nebraska here, maybe western Illinois during this time frame, and that will continue eastward. And why I'm concerned is that we actually do have kind of a strong upper level jet here. The 250 millibar jet, upper level jet stream is actually kind of centered right across the region here with that zonal flow. So we'll definitely have to watch that as we get towards next week here to see if this kind of strengthens or loosens up a little bit. But definitely a lot to watch over the next week or so. So I'll keep you covered here with all the severe weather out there, with all the major heat. You definitely stay hydrated, everybody across the country. Definitely want to remain in air conditioned rooms or anything like that here to stay out of the heat. If you guys do work outside, again, do drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and remain in the shade here very much if possible, if not in air conditioned places here as well. Thank you guys for watching my video. Remember to like my video here down below by pressing the thumbs up button here. Leave any comments, questions, concerns. I'll get to those and answer those later today. And subscribe here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get over 300 subscribers. My new goal is 500 subscribers now, guys. So thank you guys for subscribing. And again, remember to press that subscribe button down below. And let friends and family know that I have a YouTube channel as well, and they could definitely benefit from my forecast. Then tell them to subscribe. So thank you guys very much, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their week, and I'll see you in the next video.